Right, okay, we're going. Hello everyone and welcome to round number 7, 8 and 9 of the TGP2 series, season 20. We are here today, first race of the day at Mexico, then we go to Canada and then USA to finish off today's stream. It's going to be an exciting few races. Just have a quick look at the standings. It's Jack Pearson leading the championship from Aidan Griffins going into tonight's races. So, Jean, will you do us the honours of taking us through a lap in qualifying round Mexico?
Yes, sure thing. I think we'll have a look on board with Jack for the qualifying lap as the championship leader, possibly.
Yep, I think that's a good idea. So I'll have to find him and then you will just talk us through the lap. So just waiting to go here in Mexico. Right in the heart of Mexico City, this circuit, the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez. And that looks quite cloudy for qualifying, wouldn't you say, John?
I would have to agree. It doesn't look damp, which will be good news for some of the drivers out there who hate the wet conditions. And I think there'll be a few very happy about that.
Yeah, very much so. 4.3 kilometre circuit here. Redesigned recently, came back onto the F1 calendar in 2015, redesigned by Tilke, and let's see how they get on here. So right, we'll try and find Mr. Pearson. And there he is. So take us through a lap, Jean-Luc Taylor.
Right, and so down the straight towards turn 1, DRS wide open, coming towards turn 1 at the highest speed of the season, near enough at about 220 mile an hour on a good day. Down on the brakes hard into the first few chicanes, Jack a little wide there, hits the apexes on the second and third border low, and then down the next straight with DRS again towards the next chicane section at the end of sector 1. As we get here now, 100 metre board, Jack on the brakes, turns left, then right, and then we'll quickly head into the next double right-hander before the swooping S's at the end of sector 2. Another short straight here as we get up to towards 6th gear, maybe even 7th, before he hits it left, then right, and then left again. Taking it rather easy, respect to the track, can't hit the limits here, you will get a corner cut penalty, and it will put you at the back of the grid. As we head now towards the last sector here, a right-hander followed by a sharp left-hand chicane, down into second, and then a clumsy little exit there, to be honest, from Jack, as we get towards the last right-hander, the Perapalda. I probably butchered the name there, but anyway, out of there, round towards the finish line, and Jack has been disqualified, it seems, for exceeding track limits.
Yeah, there's a few drivers there who got exceeding track limits, so that it looked like that Going's got pole position there. Is that what you've seen on your screen, John?
I do believe that is the case, and it is indeed by half a second.
Yep, so Going's on pole, half a second ahead of Mr. Chiapelli. Then we've got Joe Sayer in third, Jay Holt in fourth, Erland fifth, Mr. John in his McLaren sixth, Dom Smith seventh, James in eighth, Baz in ninth, Chris Johnson rounding out the top 10. Then we've got Jacko and Bart Dude second in the championship, down in 12th.
Yes, it looks like he's made a mistake on his lap or something. 4.8 off the pace, which definitely isn't what he's been the performance he's normally capable of. It looks as though he may have lost it in the middle sector. He's 4 seconds down now with a 32-second sector compared to Goings' 28. So you have to assume he's either run wide or maybe had a little moment, which has resulted in him running off the track and losing a lot of time and grid positions.
Yep, so looks very good conditions here for the race. A lot better conditions than qualifying, drier conditions, sunnier conditions. So let's see how they get on. What are your predictions for this race, Sean?
It's going to be an interesting one. You have to say Goings a favourite on pole. The two main title rivals of Jack and Aidan at the back of the grid. Luca could have a chance as well, third in the championship. He'd be happy to know that the two guys in front of him are far way down the grid, and it will give him a good chance to close the 51-point gap between himself and Aidan in second in the championship.
So here we are, getting ready to go here in Mexico City for round number 7 of the TGP series. The lights are on, 5 lights are on. And we're away in Mexico City, and that looks a decent start from Goings. A poor start from the Red Bull there on Front row of Mr. Chiapelli, a very poor start. He's dropping down the field dramatically already down in 10th position as they head down the long run down towards turn 1 now. Accidents in the past in TGP series, but let's see how they handle it. And one of the Red Bulls has gone straight on. I think that was Basil there. I have to have a quick look. It looked like Basil. Yes, it was Basil going straight on at turn 1, but they're battling all through the field now.
Yeah, cars all bunched together here on the run down towards the second sector. Aiden already making moves down in 8th. Having a look at the inside of his teammate James for 7th.
Yeah.
And slight contact has to be said. And Aiden running a bit wide on the exit as well to avoid any further contact. Jack already up to 6th as well, behind Dom in 5th. Good start low for Goings, who is clearing away already. 1.8
yeah, 1.7 seconds up from the field from Joe Sayer. Jay Alt in 3rd. Mr. John being harried by Dom Smith behind. Then Jack Pearson 6th. Bart Dude in 7th. James in 8th. Mr. Chiapelli 9th. And Mike Noon rounding out the top 10. Oh, there's a bit of contact between Chiapelli and Mike Noon.
Chiapelli in big trouble, and he's hit the back of a Force India.
Yeah, and there's cars everywhere on the back straight. It looks like one of the Toro Rossos is Erland as well. So cars everywhere.
James has run on at the end of the straight as well before the right-hander at the last sector.
Yeah. Force India battles for 8th and 9th, but it's a 2.6 second lead for Goings after lap number 1. Dom Smith all over the back of Mr. John Noak, heading down towards turn 1 now, going up the inside. He's got the DRS. Well, he won't have DRS actually, it's too early in the race, but just the slipstream alone, he's got him up the inside. Is he going to get the move done? Side by side, going round 1. I think John might hold on, or can he get the impact? Oh, they've touched, they've just about held it together though. And oh, is that Bar Dude come and make a move? Yes, it is. He's already got past 1. He's got past 2. Can he get past Mr. John as well? Round the outside here in turn number 4. Can he get the move done? Oh, not quite. He's still there, side by side behind as well. And he's got the move done. He's up into P4, head of his main rival in the championship. We're going to see what Jack Pearson is doing now. He's held on. Mike Noon getting past his Ferrari teammate. Dom Smith looks like the big loser from this battle here, dropping in about 3-4 positions there. Wouldn't you say so?
Yeah, absolutely. It's also worth pointing out, as I think, has Aiden just gone off?
Oh, he suddenly dropped back. Yeah, he's made a mistake.
Yeah,
he's lost half his front wing. I don't know what happened there, but he's made a mistake and he's, yeah, back down the field.
Yeah, front wing damage as well, so that's a disaster for him. Might have been the same mistake he's made in qualifying, to tell you the truth. That's really going to help Jack with his championship hopes, who, as Aiden was making 3 moves up in the space of 1 straight, Jack was also making similar moves just behind, and that's held him into a good slot in 5th, which will almost certainly now be 4th place as he goes side by side with Mr. John down the straight.
Yeah, seen it flash up on the screen as Aiden came into the pit lane to change his front wing. He got a 5-second stop speeding in the pit lane time penalty, so that's not good for him either. Mr. John dropping back down the field. He's got swamped by everyone. It is very tight in this midfield battle, as you can see on the screen.
I'm wondering if there was contact there between Jack and Mr. John, as there is now damage on the front wing of John's McLaren, and he's also lost a number of places as Jack gets a time penalty up in 4th.
Yeah, he's got a bit of a history of corner cutting Jack Pearson in 4th position. That's his first penalty of the day, and probably not his last, in all honesty. As I've seen the Force India's having a scrap for 7th and 8th place, Sir Lennox and Chris Johnson. Sir Lennox looks like he's got the run on the harder tyres here. We've got Chris, wow, one of the Ferraris is wide there. That was Dom Smith, and now he's getting harried by Chris Johnson as they head into the baseball section.
It's worth pointing out both Ferraris got front wing damage, as well as 3rd place JL, who's actually coming into the pits now from 3rd, which will push Jack up into a podium position.
Yep.
And he's also sped in the pit lane.
Yeah, speeding in the pit lane there as one of the Ferraris is coming. I believe that's Dom Smith. Yeah, Dom Smith's into the pits as well.
Hasn't fallen for the easy trap of speeding into the pit lane. It's very quick to come to the line after the last corner. It's a front wing change for both him and JL. JL's coming out now in 11th position on the soft tyres, and it looks like he's going to be comfortably ahead of Aiden down in 13th.
JL on Dom on the softs, JL on the super softs, and let's have a look at what Jacko's doing. Line astern up the front, while meanwhile Goings has managed to claw himself a 6-second lead right at the start of this race, and he's surely got in the bag. He can't do what he did. No weather looking to intervene this week like there was in Malaysia for him, so no changing tyres too early, and hopefully he can bring it home this time, as Sir Lennox is all over the back of his teammate for 5th position.
Yeah, the Force Indians have been steadily rising through the field through the benefit of others' misfortunes. They were down in about 8th and 9th early on that one, and now 5th and 6th. And Chris Johnson was very slow at the corner, and Sir Lennox doesn't make a move. It's interesting that he's on the soft tyre compared to Chris's super soft, so split of strategies, yet you would say Sir Lennox looking the quicker of the two at the moment.
Yeah, very quick indeed. Let's see what they can do down the main straight. Just a quick update on who's gained the most positions so far. Mike Noon has gained 11 positions on his starting position. Meanwhile, Erland has dropped down 10 and Chiapelli has dropped down 12, qualified in second and gone down the field. As we see, a switch of position most likely for Force India. Is Chris Johnson letting him go? He should let him go. He's got the pace on his teammate Solanix, and there we go. Passed into P5, and hopefully he can make some ground on those harder compound tyres.
Also helpful for him is he's got DRS only with the one detection zone on the circuit, so if you get it in the first one you'll have it in the second, even if you make the overtake at the end of the first one.
Yeah.
So that's helped to get away a little bit, as Mike Moon in fourth now has a time penalty for Gordon Patty.
Yeah.
He's 2.9 ahead of Solanix, so
yeah. Meanwhile Erland on the back, fresh ultra soft tyres, has just set the fastest lap of the race. A bit of a mixture of tyres going on in this race so far. We've got the front four all on ultra softs. Solanix fifth on softs. Chris Johnson sixth, ultra softs. Super softs for Jacko. Ultras, supers for Mr. John and Bazza, and then round out top 10 on ultras is Michael Kenny, and then all the people behind have made their mandatory stop already. So J-Holt, Bardude, Dom Smith, Chiapelli, Erland and James have all stopped already through damage throughout this race.
It's interesting that Aiden is quickly catching 11th place. He's got the gap down to just under 2 seconds now, and he's visibly quicker, at least 2 seconds of that quicker so far on his lap alone. So that could be one to look on later,
yeah,
just in case the race comes back to them after their early stops.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Jack is also closing in on his teammate, currently a Delta Mercedes podium, which he could have got good odds on with Bet Moon earlier in the day.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Bazza is closing in on the back of Mr. John. This is for 8th and 9th position currently. This closest battle on the circuit that isn't between teammates. So, and this could get interesting as they head through this section on the back of the circuit. This nice helicopter cam for us, heading round turns number 6 and heading towards the SE section. Can he keep close in this SE section on his super soft tyres? They're older, they're harder compound tyres for Bazza, but he should be able to keep up. They've gone a fair bit into the race and the ultras are starting to fall apart.
Yeah, not what also doesn't help Mr. John is that front wing damage, which makes his car horrible on the corners. A lot of downforce definitely playing an effect there. Yeah,
not helping him as they enter the baseball section. He's very close to the back of him. He managed to keep up with him. There's a yellow flag somewhere in sector 3, and it's Chris Johnson. He's in the wall. Chris Johnson has managed to biff it in a wall somewhere, and he's reversing to try and keep out of the way. Where's he going to rejoin? He rejoins his night with front wing damage. Mr. John is in. He knew his tyres were giving up, and that frees up Bazza to go and henceforth and get some time.
Now I wonder what happened there to cause that.
Yeah, I'm not very sure. See what they go on to.
Surely there's some contact.
Yeah, I'm presuming so as well. Mr. John goes onto the super softs, and so does Chris Johnson. Chris Johnson, they both had a front wing change in this race.
Meanwhile, we missed it, Aiden had passed J-Holt for now 9th place with John and Chris Johnson having their early stops.
Yeah. It's a big gap as well, so J-Holt on my screen, on the graphics says soft tyres, but on my screen visually he's on super soft, so what's it saying for you?
I'm seeing soft tyres on the car and on the data, as well as him dropping back pretty quickly.
Yeah. Chris John, Bart Dude on the soft tyres as well by the looks of it, as Goings enters the pit lane.
And the Mercedes of Jack Pearson has just... Okay, that was just my screen playing about with me a little bit there. He's also come into the pits, hasn't sped, and is now in the garage. It looks like super soft tyres for the Mercedes.
Yeah, and Mike Noon in as well. Change of front wing there, he goes on to super soft tyres. So all of these guys that have pitted have just gone on to the super soft tyres. So that leaves Joe Sayer in the lead of the race, 6.6 seconds ahead of Sir Lane X on his soft tyres.
and it looks like Mike is going to come out behind Hayden in 8th, who's now up to 8th, and he's going to come out side by side with the runner here of JL. He's just behind actually, coming down towards turn 1. The speed advantage of cars on the straight compared to those out the pit lane is pretty significant here.
Meanwhile, further up the field, Goings looks like he's about to pass Bazza on his fresher, super soft tyres. He forces him, gives him a bit of a muscle wide, and he's passed as Chris Johnson has retired from the race, and Dom Smith has picked up a 3-second time penalty.
Chris Johnson has parked it in the pit lane rather than having a crash on track. His race is done for the day.
Yeah, he's just parked it.
I'm assuming you'll have the race leader in at the end of this lap. Joe, he does not. He stays out for another lap.
Yeah, meanwhile, further back in the field, Mike Noon has just pulled off an amazing move into the start of the S's, down the inside of JL, and he's up into 9th position on his fresher tyres, and he's blasting away already.
He is absolutely taken off. JL has got more front wing damage. I think that he's had that for the second time this race. Yellow flagged out in sector 1. I'm assuming that's going to be the full season.
It's a safety car. It's a safety car.
It's brought out. Oh, incredible.
Safety car, and Goings passed Jacko on the main straight just before the safety car board came out, so that's helpful for him. There's a few guys that still need to pit. This is not good. Might help Joe Sayer and Sir Lane X out a little bit, but everyone else is stopped already.
Brilliant news for Bartley, who's coming to the pit lane. The second place of the championship, putting on a new set of super soft tyres, it looked like there. He's going to come out without a loss of position, really. It's a free stop for anyone 9th and below. I think Chiapelli has also pitted. Let's just have a look.
Yeah, supers for me.
Yes, indeed.
JL's gone on to the ultra softs though, and he's managed to lose a place to Dom Smith in the stops as well though. So not the best idea. Everyone's coming in now. Sir Lane X and Joe Sayer are having to slow down so much. They've got to keep to the delta time and head into the pit lane.
Yep, Joe at the last corner now should be coming in for super softs, you would imagine. Almost a free pit stop. Let's keep an eye on Goings though, who got the hairpin section of the track before the last.
Yeah, he's going to get the lead back most likely, Goings, to be honest. That's not really a question. It's where Joe Sayer will peel out compared to the rest of the field.
Yeah, Goings takes the lead there, and he really puts across the line. You get the delta.
This might help out actually. Where's his teammate? Where is Jack Pearson?
He's coming across the line now. He's going to come up ahead of Jack Pearson. He's going to be a bit disappointed about that. I think Jack was third before the stops anyway, so they have maintained position really. No change in position from before the stops. Jack was behind. He was closing in on Joe, and now they're going to be even closer together. But Joe Sayer's going to have the fresher tyres. Yes, indeed. I think that has helped the likes of Sir Lanik, Bazza, and Jacko. As Chiapelli, I think, actually missed the boat with the first pit stop. I thought he might have come in just ahead, but he must have got really unlucky and just missed it. As Michael Kenny gets a 5-second stop go penalty for speeding the pit lane.
Yeah.
Just one of the many that have done it already this race. Although, fortunately for these two at the back, Michael and Mr. John, they will get a net free pit stop because they will surely catch the safety car line before the safety car comes in. It also helps Erlan, who had an unfortunate start. He's 13th with the fastest lap. I believe he made a second stop.
Yeah, he has. I've seen him come on the thing to come in for another pit stop. So on this restart, we've got 3 guys who've gained 10 positions from their starting position in this race. Jack Pearson, Sir Laneit and Mike Noon. All have gained 10 positions from where they started in this race. The big loser so far this race has been Mr. Chiapelli. Started 2nd place. Had a horrible start. Was down to about 10th before he even got to turn 1. And he's down a couple more positions since then, and he's going to be restarting in 12th most likely.
Interestingly, even though we're under safety car, you've got basically a free pit stop. JL has not fixed his front wing at the stops at all.
Has he
He's still got that front wing damage, and he has made a second stop as well. So that's a very interesting decision in that field.
Yeah, on the ultras though.
Meanwhile, interesting little bunch up there on Mike Noon in 5th. Back in the pack up a little bit just to get some heat into the tyres.
Yeah, trying to get those heat into the tyres, very important for a safety car restart. You want to have as much grip as possible, but try not to wear out the tyres too much as well. This is saving their tyres, but also they might get a little bit of cold graining, but is this really an issue on this game?
Not really. Erland has pitted from 13th. He's going to come out on the back of the pack, but on ultra soft tyres, he could be a threat for the lower points at the end of the race. And I think we should probably do a quick little rundown of the standings as they are at this lull in the action.
Yeah, so Goings is leading the race from Joe Sayer, Jack Pearson in 3rd, then we've got Sir Lanex in 4th, Mike Noon in 5th, Jacko 6th, Bazza in 7th, Bardude in 8th, James in 9th, his teammate, then we got 10th Dom Smith, J-Alt with the damaged front wing in 11th, and rounding out the points at the moment is Mr Chiapelli, who started up in 2nd place. Michael Kenny is 13th, Mr Johns 14th, and Erland is at the back of the field with Chris Johnson retired. And it looks like we're going to be going green again this time.
It's bizarre how the safety car did come out, because Chris Johnson did retire in the pit lane, but that's just one of the quirks that this game has.
Yeah, so Goings backing up the field, ready to go for this race restart here in Mexico. They come through the baseball stadium. When is he going to hit the gas? Let's follow on board with Joe Sayer, and he's hit the gas already, coming around the final corner. He looks like he's got a decent restart. Jack's all over the back of him though. Can he get the run down into turn 1 and gain that position? Help his championship rise. He's going up the inside into turn 1. This shouldn't be too hard for him. He is the #1 driver in that team, so hopefully he can get the move done. And it looks like he's done it with quite some ease actually. Bit of action going on in the background though. As you see, Bazza losing the place to Bardude, and Michael Kenny's picked up a 3-second stop-go penalty.
And he's also hit the back of the car in front and spun. Front wing damage to him, down at the back of the field.
Yeah. Front wing back across the grass. We've got Joe Sayer losing another position, side by side with Sir Lanex. He might lose another one here. Mike New's going to try and stick it up the inside. Oh, he's mounting the curve. Can he get the move done, Mike New? Joe Sayer's losing a lot of positions on this race restart. Joe's going to... Oh, Mike didn't quite get the move done. He's looking, having a little sniff. Baz has lost another place, I think, to Jacko there. Yes, he has. Yeah. There's all action so far on this restart.
Yeah, one thing to watch with Joe and Mike is Aiden is right behind them and looking very racy.
Yeah, as Mike Noon gets the move done up into P4, up the inside of Joe Sayer. Bit of a train, and Aiden's going to try and go round the outside of Joe Sayer, maybe Mike Noon as well. Let's see how this works out. He's going to have the DRS. No, not quite actually. Safety car restart, my bad. Anyway, it's side by side. Joe Sayer gets the perfect view. Watching behind, it's all a bit hectic there. We've got McLaren there with Jacko. We've got Basil there, all over the back as well. Jacko, what's he going to do? He's going to look to the outside. We've got Aiden round the outside of Mike Noon. Mike Noon holds on. Jacko gets past Joe Sayer though, and he's up into 6th position. Basil's going to have a sniff, try and nick another position off. There's a yellow flag. Someone's dropping down the field there. Can you see who it is, John?
James has been, it looks like James and maybe Chiapelli came together. Chiapelli's got damage to his front wing, which really has not helped his dreadful race, while James has spun round.
Yeah, meanwhile, the side by side still Mike Noon and Aiden further up the field. I think that's just about settled down for the Essies. But meanwhile, Bazza's looking up the inside. Joe, they're side by side through the Essies. How's this going to work out? Probably not too well, to be honest, because it's the Essies. Dom Smith having a sniff all over the back of Bazza. He's all kicking off now on this safety car restart.
Another penalty from Mike in 4th. Aiden all over the back of him, and Sir Lanex has got the back of Jack as well in 2nd.
Yeah. Not as close as Mike and Aiden, though, to be honest, though, that battle. As Aiden's very much all over the back of Mike Noon now. Can he get the move done? Down on the straight. Is DRS enabled this time round? I don't think it is. No, it isn't. But can he do it without DRS anyway? It's on the slipstream, using that Sauber engine tow. Bit of a battle in the background. Can you keep an eye on that for us, Sean? Just see if anything happens. Yep. We keep an eye on this main battle at the front. And is he going to try and do the switch whippity-wop flip-flop? Oh, he's touching. They're side by side as they head down the next DRS straight. Still no DRS on this lap though. Nothing looks like it's happened too much behind, as they still are side by side heading into turns 4 and 5 now. Whippity-wop, flip-flop, trying it again, got to go around the outside. He's going to lose out at some point soon. He's just going to keep going around the outside. Mike Noon's parking his car on the apex, but he's got to be the inside in towards turn 7. They're banging wheels Is he going to get the move done? They've made contact. He's pushed him wide. And Mike just about keeps hold of the position for now.
Meanwhile, just behind Aiden, another freeway fight between Jacko, Joe and Bazza. And I think, was that Mike letting Aiden go? I think it was maybe an illegal overtake there as he cut the track to stay ahead.
Oh, and someone's off it. Who spun? Oh, there's massive contact. Mr. Jean, Chiapelli. No, it weren't Chiapelli, it was Bazza. It was the other Red Bull, my bad. Something's happened there. I think I've just seen Bazza spinning around in the background of one of the shots there, but we couldn't see much else apart from that.
Meanwhile, Mike had DRS on Aiden in fourth. It's probably a bit too far back low. We might consider going for it.
Oh, he's going to go for the dive bomb.
Oh, that was a bit brave. He's not paid off for him now. He's going to drop down the field. He's also got 2 penalties. That's really stupid his race there.
Yeah, that's ended that battle. Meanwhile, Joe Sayer's going to try and look around the outside with the DRS open. They've both got DRS open, Jacko and Joe Sayer. Round the outside, can he get it done into 5? Can this move be finished off? He's forced Jacko off the circuit, but that's a fair move in racing. And he got that done. He's back up into P5 after this horrible safety car restart.
Chiapelli is like a cork in the bottle down in 10th, a number of cars behind, as
Mike Noon's picked up a penalty.
Close. Solanek's getting close to the back of Jack Pearson.
Yeah, just following Dom Smith.
Another scrap just behind in 6th.
Following Dom Smith through the baseball section. Can he maybe make a move on Jacko? 4 P6 in this race. There's a bit of a train behind Jacko at the moment, as Dom Smith's tyres keep changing on my screen from super soft to ultra soft with every turn. So who knows what tyres he's actually on. Can you clarify this for us?
The system does say super soft tyres, although on my screen it is actually ultra soft, but the
so it's doing the same thing for you as he looks to go around the outside at turn 1. Can he keep it together? He's just keeping it cautious, going to try and make the move into 4 and 5 instead this time. Oh, there's something happening towards the end of the lap. It looks like something between J-Holt and Mr. Chiapelli, or Mr. John.
No, I think it was just around the yellow flag. They're both nose to tail. I think Jay just made the overtake as Bazza's just taking 12 from Mr. John now, who's just sinking down the field with that damage to his front wing. As Dom and Jacko are side by side now. Oof, that's a brave one into there. Jacko, I think, defended the position from Dom and stays in 6th. As Erlan, who was at the back of the field at the safety car, is now back up into 8th. And you have to say he's relishing the chance to take 2 more positions before the end of this race.
Yeah, very good chance. And Mike Noons, well, he's just run straight on and he's in a wall. So that's Mike's miserable couple of laps finishing off there. He's not going to pick up any points now. Disastrous. He went for the Daniel Ricciardo-esque dive bomb into turn 1. Couldn't make it stick. And yeah, just going backwards now, and he's cost himself some points because of that. Meanwhile, Erland is all over the back of Dom Smith.
Yeah, both cars are DRS, so it's kind of balanced out the speed, which Dom would be grateful for, I think. Erland might be close enough to make it a loop, and we're here. We're seeing the next DRS zone, maybe can have a little chance to get a good exit here. Although you have to say Dom a lot better on the exit there, and he's actually on the back of Jacko, if anything.
Yeah, getting close to the back of Jacko again. We're on the penultimate lap of this race. This race has quite flown by. Battles all over the place, left, right and centre. Only Goings has got a 3.5 second lead as he's in the final sector of his penultimate lap. We're going to keep an eye on Dom Smith and that battle for 6th place between Jacko, Dom Smith and Erland, and Chiapelli's just lurking in the background in case there's an accident. So
yes, he's managed to get back just into DRS even with the damage he's got to the front of that Red Bull. And Dom, again, closing in on Jacko.
Yeah, meanwhile we're following Dom with his magical colour changing tyres. Some corners it's red, some corners it's purple. What will they be next corner? What will they be at the end of the race? We will never know.
Oh, you know what? It's just started to rain.
Yes, it has. There's a few little spots. It's the final lap though, so no one's going to bother pitting for inter tyres. As we head down the main straight, so Lane X has picked up a 3-second penalty, which pretty much means that Jack is... Well, how many penalties has Jack picked up?
I think Jack has got a fair few, you know. I wouldn't put it past having 2 or 3 at least.
Yeah.
I think he should actually just has the one, which is actually fair play to him. He normally falls out of them very quickly.
Yeah, okay, so Mr. John's just picked up another 3-second penalty as well. It's quite a common thing here. We're using strict corner cutting for this track, and there's another penalty for Jack Pearson. So that looks like 6 seconds. So Lanix only got 3, so he may lose a position on that podium because of that penalty.
And it was worth pointing out that here last season, Jack was in the lead of the race and got a penalty on the final lap that cost him the win. He actually did it twice on the penultimate week last season.
Yeah.
But here and the next race in, I believe Austin, I think that's the next race, might be one after. But Goings crossed the line to win first race of the evening, a dominant win, leading every lap, and calm and composed on the safety car restart. So Lennox takes second ahead of Jack, Aiden down in fourth. A good recovery from him from the back of the grid. As Joe takes fifth, he might be a bit disappointed with that. And the next train of Jacko, Dom, Erlan and Chiapelli. Erlan has been promoted to 6th. Chiapelli up to 7th ahead of Jacko and Dom due to penalties. And JL gets 9th. Dom all down to 10th now, with Baz across the line at 11th. And the final point going to James due to Mr. John's penalties in 13th. All that's left is Michael Kenny, who I believe has just run out of fuel, and Mike has been disqualified from the race on the last lap.
Yeah, so a very interesting race here in Mexico, very action-packed, especially after the safety car. We couldn't really take our eyes off any action. We didn't really follow leaders because there weren't any real action happening with the leaders this race. All the action was happening in the midfield of this field. So here we are, seeing Goings on the podium, picking up another victory this season. Well, is it his first victory of the season? I cannot remember. I've commentated on every race and I still can't remember.
I believe it might just be his first of the season. I think he's had a near miss like in Malaysia last week where he just got the tyre called wrong when the rain began to dry up. Although today, you don't have to worry about the rain. A perfect race in the dry for him and race victory.
Yep, so here are the final standings. Goings wins the race in his Toro Rosso. Sir Lanex picks up 2nd place after penalties for Jack Pearson. Jack Pearson picks up 3rd. Bart Dude in 4th. Joe Sayer in 5th. Erlan promoted to 6th through other drivers' penalties by the looks of it. Mr. Chiapelli in 7th. Jacko in 8th. J.O. in 9th. Dom Smith in 10th. Bazza in 11th. And James picks up the final point. Mr. John and Michael Kenny round out the field of the classified drivers. So here we are in the break between race 1 and race 2 of the night. So let's have a look at what you lot are saying in the comments as we get ready for race number 2 of the night. I believe it is Canada the second race. Yes, it is Canada the second race. The only comments between this race, we've got no World Cup updates this time either, and the only comment between the races is that Sir Lanex, it says good luck, I believe, from Demi, and the Kid 101 says what a race. Yes, okay, so they're the roundup of the comments. Not as active as normal, but we'd like to get you more involved. So here we are getting ready to go for the Canadian Grand Prix, the circuit Gilles Villeneuve, and I think we're going to do an audio uplap in qualifying. So, a few facts and figures of the circuit Gilles Villeneuve coming up for you now. So the circuit here has a capacity of 100,000 in the province of Quebec, 100 in the city of Montreal, opened in 1978, hosted the Canadian Grand Prix on and off since 1978 as well. It's a 14-turn circuit and it is currently 2.71 miles. So let's see how we get on here. So the comments are lighting up in between the races. We're about to go here in Canada, and like we said, we're going to follow the previous race winner Goings in qualifying and see how he gets on with an audio uplap. So get ready to go for the Canadian Grand Prix. What is the weather conditions going to be like? Here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve, right in the heart of Montreal, near the Rhine Lakes that were used for the Olympics back in the 80s, I believe.
Yep, and it's bright and sunny in Montreal. Perfect conditions for qualifying.
Yep. So let's see how let's see how we get on here.
Sorry.
It's a bit hard to judge with the mic delay as well. That don't really help.
Yeah. Has been a bit of an issue today, I'm afraid.
Yeah, we've got audio. We're going to have an audio up lap with the previous race winner goings, and let's see if anyone can hit that wall of champions in qualifying. So there is qualifying here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. It looked like Bartdude has taken pole position here at the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve for round number 8 of the season. So here are the full qualifying standings. Bartdude in first, Jack Pearson second, Goins in third, Mike Noon fourth. Then we have Sir Lane X in fifth, Jacko sixth, Mr. Chiapelli seventh, Joe Sayer eighth, Mr. James in ninth, Dom Smith 10th, then we have Bazza 11th, Mr. John 12th, the Canadian J-Alt in 13th, not very good, especially with Canada so close to this race. Michael Kenny 14th, Erland and Ways did not set a lap time. So that means that Aiden has picked up his 9th pole position in TGP2 with that one. As we head towards the race now here in Canada. Bright dry weather once again, so let's see how we get on. So we've got 19 seconds to the race start. Any last well wishes for any of the drivers, please leave them in the comments and we'll get to them at the end of the race. So 3 seconds, 2 seconds, and then all the cars are going to be on the grid, ready to go for 18 laps of the Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. 5 lights are on. And we're away. And it's a drive-through penalty for Ways, jumping the start immediately. We're away in the field. Mike Noon gets a decent start. The two leaders are side by side going into turn 1. Both run wide. Oh, it's contact. Mike Noon's lost a bit of his front wheel already on Goings' car. But it looks like Bartdude has picked up the lead. So Bartdude in the lead, go around the first couple of corners. Jack Pearson second, Mike Noon third, Solanix in fourth, Chiapelli in fifth, Jose in sixth, being hassled and harried by Jacko. But meanwhile up the front, Goings is third, Jack Pearson orderly queue as they go through the first couple of corners.
Yeah, it looks like Goings just picked up some minor front wing damage on the opening few corners. I wonder if that was the debris we saw at turn 1. It looks like Mike's car is actually okay. Had a little weird time in which it started, so Goings near the back of the field, but he is indeed up in third. As we've got contact at the back, and it's Jacko off the track. It looks like he's got away with damage. Maybe it was just a bit of a spin, maybe caused by another car. It seems okay, and It's got a bit hectic at the hairpin.
Yeah.
Was it Mr. John?
Well, J.O. looked like he had a spin or something, and it's just all got a bit chaotic there. Mr. John's had to drop back. He's retired from the race already, Mr. John. So not a good first lap. As they come through the first few corners, you see Sir Lannex jumping into the pits already. He had a bit of front wing damage by the looks of it. Yes, he has. That means he's jumping into the pits early. Waze is also into the pit lane to serve his drive-through, but Goings is now all over the back of Jack Pearson, even with that front wing damage. We've got Mike Noon behind him for, so it's all, meanwhile 7 tenths in the lead is Bardu, so this could be quite a close battle for the leaders in this race.
Yes, indeed. It was good to see 4 different cars from 4 different teams and the front 4 all close together. It could be an interesting battle between 4 of them. Pit stops could be very important. Meanwhile, thankfully, everyone's got to the first lap without touching the Wall of Champions.
Yeah, no one's ended up in the Wall of Champions this time round. Will anyone end up in the Wall of Champions during this race? A very famous wall where many champions of F1 in the past have ended up in it. Jacques Villeneuve, Michael Schumacher, Jenson Button, to name a few. But let's see how all the rest of the drivers get on. Jack Pearson is only 3 tenths behind Bardu as they head down towards the chicane with the Wall of Champions.
He's got a very good run on Aiden down to that last chicane, and it looks like they'll take it south for straight line speed. Maybe the slipstream helped a bit as well. Also, Mike Noon, 4th, having a look on the inside of going into turn 1. He's gone for it, and he's going to run wide. He tried to make the move stick. He's actually come right back away from that parked it.
Oh, and our co-commentators left the session, so it's just going to be me for the time being. So anyway, we head round through the S's. Mike Noon clattering Goings as he heads back onto the circuit, and Mike Noon's gone. Mike Noon has disconnected, so that means that Mike Noon's going to drop back through the field. He's had some clumsy incidents with Goings in the first couple of laps, and he's back in the race. Chiapelli is going to go past now Mike Noon up into 4th place as we wait for him to rejoin. So that means that Bazza and Josiah, and this battle for 6th is very close, as Bazza's going to try and look up the inside, maybe into the hairpin. Josiah's going to try and defend. Is Bazza going to dive it up the inside in the Red Bull? Yes, he does. Side by side, he gets the position, does he? He's going to try and squeeze Joe on the exit. Yes, he does. He's passed, and he's up into 7th position, which is about to come 6th as they all fly past Mike Noon's ailing car now, as our co-commentator's back in the session. So we head back towards the field now. As you can see, Mike Noon just dropping back. He disconnected as well. So we're going to see side by side with Bazza and Josiah. This is for 6th position. Mike Noon is back in the race. He's still in the points at the moment, but it could get very tasty as side by side still are the Red Bull and the Mercedes having a ding-dong battle. Jack Pearson, meanwhile, further up the field, is only 6 tenths behind Bart Dude. And can you get footage now again, my co-commentator?
Yep, footage back up, and we are back, and I can see that Aiden still leads Jack by a few tenths as Jack just got himself a time penalty, not for the first time tonight, like we said in Mexico, and like we also said in Mexico, probably not the last.
Yeah. Meanwhile, JL is trying to sniff up and get past Josiah. Josiah's starting to drop down the field. He's already been passed by Bazza. Can JL pass him as well? He had a spin in near the hairpin on lap number 1, and that caused all the chaos at the hairpin. So let's see how he gets on. Mike Noon is going again, is he? Yes, he's going again, down in P12 after his disconnection. So
that is
Jack Pearson's in the pits, by the way, as well.
Yes, indeed. Sorry for jumping in. I think he might have damage because they're looking like they're putting the front wing on that Mercedes. So
yes,
maybe he's put a back of the car in front or something, or maybe clip the wall. Meanwhile, Joe has got a run on JL for 6th here.
Well, JL having a run on Joe, really, isn't it?
Maybe so, but they've made contact now into turn 1, and James is looking a bit lively on the inside there.
Yeah, trying a bit,
spun up a bit.
Yeah, tried a bit of a rallycross technique there. Don't quite work here in Canada, but let's see how he gets on. The Canadian who's recently celebrated Canada Day, July 1st, I believe, is Canada Day. So let's see what he can do at his home Grand Prix. So heading down the straight, is he going to try and move into the bridge underpass? Turn number 8, up the inside. He's far enough up the inside. Jose is just going to well, track extend to keep the position, is he? But no, he eventually lets him go, and that's JL up into P6. And is James going to have a move into the hairpin? James is having a move into the hairpin. They're side by side. Is he going to get shoved out on the exit like Bazza did to him? Or is James going to leave him in the room? He leaves him in the room just enough as they head down towards the chicane. And James is passed with the DRS open. But Joe is all over the back of him. He's going to try and move into the chicane with the Wall of Champions. No, he thinks better of it. And they processionally go through this complex of corners.
Meanwhile, Mike has got back up to 9th position. Erlan was just behind the little group and has actually got himself a penalty spin in the pit. But Mike just passed Michael Kenny for 9th position down at the hairpin. And he's making moves, having disconnected earlier on at the same time as me, actually. So
yeah,
hopefully he can get himself back up there.
Yeah, so meanwhile, after 6 laps, on lap number 6 of this race, Bart Dude has a 7-second lead over the previous race winner goings. Mr. Chiapelli in 3rd, Dom Smith in 4th, with only Bazza 3 tenths behind him, JL in 6th, James in 7th, Joe Sayer rounding out top 8. We've got Mike in 9th, Michael Kenny 10th, Waze in 11th, and Jack Pearson, who's already stopped in 12th position.
Meanwhile, Waze has actually just gone up to 10th. He's gone up the inside of Michael Kenny. He's actually got quite a heavy bit of damage, but Michael Kenny definitely struggling. He's dropped over 3 seconds on Mike in a single lap, who's now up in 9th. And you wonder if the tyres are going or something. Meanwhile, Jack is just approaching the back of Michael. Jack, having already pitted and repairing some front wing damage, going comes in, and he will likely be doing the same as what Jack had to do to stop a change of wing and some super soft tyres. Let's see.
Yep, wing change and onto a set. Well, on my screen, he's just gone off to a set of super softs and he's going back onto a set of super softs. So, how true is that? I will not know, to be honest.
Well, I can tell you the data has it as super soft tyres. Meanwhile, a good scrap shaping up the 5th now. James is looking pretty lively on the back of JL.
Yeah, a bit of a train behind the Canadian in the Renault. We've got JL in 5th, James in 6th, Joe Sayer in 7th, and Mike Noon, who's recovering from disconnecting earlier in the race, is in 8th, and it surely won't take him too long to pass this lot. He's got superior pace on all 3 of these drivers, and he should make his way up quickly.
Sorry about that. Unfortunately for Mike, he did just run a bit wide at the exit of the chicane, lost himself a bit of time. I think he's just got himself back into DRS in time at the DRS detection point. And meanwhile, Aiden stays out in the lead, and we should be seeing some kind of slipstream battle down the straight. We've got James slipstream on Joe, Joe slipstream on James, and slipstream DRS, of course.
JL peels into the pit and he gets a speeding penalty. Chiapelli's in the pit, Mike Noon's in the pit, so we'll start to kick off in the pit lane.
Meanwhile, Jack just slowly making his way up the field. He's past Michael, he's up to 7th already. He's just closer to the back of Wace in 6th, who's yet to pit. Had to take a penalty early on for a jump start as well. And Bazza's just all out of shape there in 3rd as he gets a penalty.
Yeah, and it looks like James has been released to finally get free of Joe Sayer, because JL was holding him up and he now can build himself some ground ready for his pit stop. But Joe's just about hanging with him for the time being. So, Mr. Chiapelli rejoined in 9th. Jack Pearson, the highest of the stoppers, coming up on the back of Waze now on his fresher tyres. And let's see what he can do. It shouldn't take him too long to get past. Bart Dude has currently got a full 15-second lead over Dom Smith, who hasn't pitted. There's a big...
Jacko's crashed in yellow flag in sector 1 for Jacko, who's managed to crash into the wall at turn 4. He's lost his front wing.
Yeah,
that's going to be a long way back to the pits from there.
Yeah, as meanwhile Jack Pearson's going to go round the outside of Waze into the chicane. He should have the move done quite comfortably unless Waze decides to keep it in there. No, he doesn't. They've both got the move done. James is into the pit lane. Joe stays out another lap. I think I'd just seen in the background Chiapelli getting past Michael Kenny as well while I was flicking through to find Jack Pearson. So
yeah, that would be correct.
Yeah, and they're both moving up positions as James is in the pit lane. Where is Mike Noon? Mike Noon's in 12th. James is just coming out of the pit lane. So it's there's some battles going on, but it's not overly tight at the moment.
The one thing I am keeping an eye on is the gap between Aiden and Jack. Jack was second before the pit stop. Obviously he had to change the front wing, and I'm just looking at the gap just to compare
It's only about 17, 18 seconds for a stop here. It's not a long one
Yeah.
due to the way of the track, but the gap is steady at around 23 seconds, so you have to say Aiden could probably have a cup of tea in that time in the pit stop and still lead.
Yeah, he could. He's got a decent margin. While you talking us through that little gap buffer between Jack Pearson and Bart Dude, Goings managed to get past Michael Kenny on his fresher tyres and is up into P8 as he's catching Chiapelli now. So
Meanwhile, Dom is in the pits from second.
Yep. And Joe Sayer's in as well, and he gets a 5-second stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane. Joe Sayer. Waze is in. I think a lot of drivers are coming in who haven't stopped already. Michael Kenny's in, so let's see where they are. Yeah, currently about 23 seconds, yeah, between Bart Dude and Jack, so it'll be about a 5-second lead for Bart Dude once he stops, most likely.
Which would, if he pits first, it will put him right behind Bazza. It's very tight on the pit window. It could easily go one way or the other there, you have to say. Meanwhile, Joe's just come out the pits and just passed Erland for 10th.
Yeah, he has indeed. As meanwhile, Goings is starting to claw in on the back of Mr. Chiapelli. I don't think either of them... I think Goings has stopped, but I don't think Chiapelli has yet. No, Chiapelli has stopped as well. I think he stopped quite early in this race. Every driver has stopped, bar Bazza and Bart Dude in this race, apparently. Meanwhile, we'll have a look at the position changes, and Bazza's gained the most at the moment, but he is on 9 from where he started, but that's because he hasn't stopped yet, so we'll get a better idea of what that looks like once the entire field has pitted. As meanwhile, Goings looking to get a move on Chiapelli down towards turn 12 and 14, 13. Some corners on this circuit, they're side by side, and Chiapelli's in the wall of champions, and he's out of the race. I have to say, to be honest, it was Chiapelli trying to hold on too long. Goings was up the inside, well entitled to be there, and Chiapelli trying to hold it round the outside in the corner that's really only single file, and that may be a safety car in this race. Yeah. So meanwhile, Bart Dude pitted during that little kerfuffle between the Red Bull and the Toro Rosso driver, and he's come out about 5 seconds clear of Jack, 2.5 clear of Bazza, who's the only driver yet to stop in this race. Meanwhile, Joe Sayers just had to come back in for another stop, and JL is all over the back of Erland. So I'm guessing our colleague over there in Essex is having problems with some technical internet issues, so we're going to keep going for the time being. So Dom Smith 7 tenths behind Sir Lanax. As Bazza peels into the pit lane, there's still the yellow flag in sector 3. There's probably a lot of debris, but it's not quite into the bit of World of Champions where you normally expect to see someone crash. It was sort of like he spun across, and it was a bit before where all cars will be exiting the corner there. So Bazza in the pit lane, he's going to rejoin a fair bit down the field. He weren't really fighting for the lead, but he's going to rejoin comfortably in the points most likely. It's going to be very close to Mike Noon. Yep, just behind Mike Noon and ahead of James.
I think I'm back.
Okay.
Yeah, meanwhile, I don't think it's happened on your screen, but Chiapelli's car is just stationary out the wall of champion in the wall. I doubt it's actually still there and it's sorted.
Yeah, it's still there on my screen when you flick to him, but I don't think it's actually still there.
Another quirk of the game there, as Dom on the back of Sir Lanix now. It's actually going to be a bit of a Ferrari brigade a bit here, as both Ferraris are closing in the field, Sinjin in 4th.
Yeah, getting very close to the back of him. Sir Lanix getting a bit of drift on, coming out the hairpin there, a bit eager on the power, and that might help Dom Smith and Mike Noon. Is there going to be Ferrari team orders here? Mike Noon's normally the quicker driver. He's had a bit of rotten luck this season, but he's trying to make his way back up through the field. There's still the yellow flag in sector 3, and Dom's in the wall and he's out. Dom's biffed it.
Oh my god! And he was completely he was unchallenged from Mike, and literally Sir Lanix had just entered the pit in front of him. Maybe that's caught him off guard a bit and caught him by surprise and gone deep, but in the order goes, both Manx men of Chiapelli and Dom both out of the same corner on similar, close together in terms of laps, and a disaster for the Ferrari, who had fourth place there in the bag, you could say.
Yeah.
And instead he finds himself alongside of the barrier. Well, the Royal of Us Open, the Wall of Champions gets
he's crashed at the Wall of Champions corner, but he's gone into the wrong barrier. So, yes, he's a former champion, but he hasn't gone into the right barrier, shall we say. While Chiapelli has gone into the right barrier. So does that mean a championship is on the horizon for him in TGP? Who knows? As we see a battle brewing for 8th and 9th as Waze pretty much forces Erland out of the way. Gives him a bit of bump and run. No damage onto Waze's car, and they're side by side heading down the back straight.
Both with DRS, I believe, as well. But no, actually, I think. Oh yeah, the Toro Rosso has got a trio open. It just didn't look like it from there. Can't really do anything with Arch Chicane though, because for at least my screen, the yellow flag is still out for
Yeah, it's still there as well. You can't do anything into the last chicane, which is one of the main overtaking zones on this circuit.
Meanwhile, Mike in fourth, very close to the wall on the exit of turn 4 there. That's very risky, especially as he's... I was going to say he's on his own, but he's not got Bazza just a couple of seconds down and closing in, so maybe that's why he's pushing quite so hard. Meanwhile, though, Aiden, with just over 4 laps to go, has a comfortable 5-second lead over Jack and is slowly pulling away. The fresher, super soft tyres helping him. Jack pitting very early on lap 4, now on 10 lap old super softs. He'll probably settle for second. Well, Goings in third. Well, second and third both with front wing damage in the race and making extra stops. That could probably cost them any chance of race victory. Especially in Jack's case, there's a pit stop with a front wing change, normally about 5 or 6 seconds extra, and with the gap being right in the middle of that at 5.5, you'd have to say he had a chance of winning today. Meanwhile, Mike in fourth has now got a time penalty, so Bazza, as it stands, will take that fourth place unless he has one of his own.
And Waze is in the wall of the Wall of Champions. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt there. He just got past J.O. about half a lap before that, and now he's in the Wall of Champions, and he's properly done it. That's 3 cars out of that corner. Don't know how there hasn't been a safety car. 3 cars off in one corner in the space of about 3 laps. And yeah, very interesting indeed.
Michael Kenny almost made it 4. He got a penalty. I think he's cut the inside of the second part, and the back end drifted out. He's only hit the back of Wace's stricken Haas there. But he's just kept it out of the wall, so we didn't have 4 cars there. It's starting to look a bit like a car park at the moment, with stricken cars left, right and centre.
Yeah, looking like a scrapyard from my area of the country, as we see Sir Lanex, all on his fresher tyres, looking to make a move on Erland up into 8th position. That's the closest battle on the circuit currently. Joe Sayer is just passing Michael Kennedy further down the field, as I can see on the ticker, but Sir Lanex has got past into 8th position. Joe Sayer has just got past Michael Kenny. Michael Kenny has got front wing damage, so that explains why Joe found it fairly easy there. And that's really... Sorry
for butting in. Just saying, Michael Penny just caught the wall again on the exit of that chicane towards the hairpin. And,
yeah, meanwhile, J.O. had a poor exit out of that chicane that everyone seems to be going off at this race, and now Sir Lanex is all over the back of him. And he's got to get the move done into turn number 3, is he? Yes, he is, with the beautiful helicopter cam. And he's passed up into P7, and that probably ends the overtaking in this race. I think everyone's pretty settled. The nearest battle is Erland and J.O., but they've been scrapping for a little while now, and nothing's really happened in this race. So we're going to have a quick rundown of the field while our co-commentator looks like he's got issues again. As Bardude starts his penultimate lap of the race, he's got a 6-second lead over Jack Pearson. Goings is in 3rd. Mike Noon, after recovering from that early disconnection, is in 4th. Bazza's 5th. James is 6th. Sir Lanex in 7th. And we've got JL 8th. Erland 9th. Joe Sayer 10th. Mike Kenny in 11th. And Jacko rounding out the runners, and he's going to get the last point in this race. As we see Erland all over the back of JL into the chicane. Please don't have an accident, lads. Oh, they didn't have an accident. As meanwhile, Erland has got the multicoloured tyres that Dom Smith had from last race. So Toro Rosso and Ferrari have been exchanging tactics with each other as they keep changing tyres on the fly. it's amazing what this pit crew can do, and it's amazing what technology is like in F1 these days. As our co-commentator still looks like he's having issues in this race. So we've got to follow Erland and JL. A few more corners for them and another lap really. So let's see how they're getting on. They're still close together, but no real battles happening as Bardude starts his final lap of the race now. He's just set the fastest lap of the race and he's comfortably cruising home to this victory here. So
I think I'm back again.
Okay.
It's not been a great race for me in terms of commentary, just everything going wrong. Yeah, it's just been one of those days. It's, well, maybe keeping on James and Sir Lennox on the last lap. Sir Lennox has taken 3 seconds out of James in the last lap or so, so maybe you can catch up to the back of him in the last lap. Meanwhile, JL and Erland still close together in 8th and 9th. And that's probably our closest battle on track.
yeah, but it doesn't really matter because Bardude is coming around the last few corners now. He's coming around the hairpin. There's a car in front of him. Looks like Michael Kenny. Yes, it is Michael Kenny looking to be lapped, so he don't have to go through another lap of his miserable afternoon. So Bardude, the Scotsman, the young Scotsman, heading towards the final chicane for the final time here in Canada. Through the chicane he goes in his Sauber. Michael Kenny's crashed right in front of him, making it another car in that wall as Bardude is crossing the line to win the Canadian Grand Prix and pick up his 12th TGP2 victory. Jack Pearson comes home in second. Goings is in third. Mike Noon is going to come home fourth most likely. We're just going to have a look through. So Goings is going to come home in third position. Is he? Yeah, Mike Noon having a massive slide coming out the last corner, coming home in fourth. Bazza coming home in fifth. Then we're going to have James in his Sauber sixth. So Lanex has caught up to him towards the end and he is going to finish seventh. Then we have JL and Erland still battling but can't do anything because of the yellow flags at the final corner. So it looks like JL is going to come home 8th. Erland is going to come home 9th. Joe Sayer away back, going to come home 10th. Michael Kenny is going to come home in... Oh, well, no, he isn't. He's going to come home 12th.
He's in the wall, isn't he? It's Jacko. Jacko in 11th.
Jacko picks up that extra point thanks to Michael Kenny ending up in the Wall of Champions, and Joe Sayer is the last person to cross the line in 10th position. So that means Bardu picking up its 12th victory in TGP2 only puts him behind one victory behind a certain TGP2 commentator in this commentary box who's a 2-time champion. So can he overtake one of the commentators in the... well, equal one of the commentators in the next race as he celebrates on the podium here in Canada. As our co-commentator has disappeared once again, so a lot of connection issues for our co-commentator tonight, but that means that we have Aidan Bardude in his Sauber. Great performance from them, and he's beaten Jack Pearson in another race this season. So that means the final results are that Bardude wins from Jack Pearson, Goings is in third, Bazza in fourth in the end thanks to a time penalty for Mike Noon. Then we have James in sixth, Sir Lanix in seventh, JL in eighth, the Canadian in his home race. 9th is Erland, 10th is Joe Sayer, 11th is Jacko, and then we've got the DNS of Michael Kenny, Waze, Dom Smith, Mr. Giapelli and Mr. John. So switching up to another race here in TGP, we're going for the United States Grand Prix at the Circuit of Americans is the following round number 9, and we are on Independence Day, so happy 4th of July to any Americans that are watching this. So getting ready to go, so we're going to have a quick review of the comments and hopefully we can get our co-commentator back into the party while we sort this out. So here we go, ready to go for Kota. There's a few comments. So Dom Smith, can't believe that. We've got that was alright. That was alright for front wing damage from JL, and he's had front wing damage every race. And nice connection, Zhong. from James O'Connor. And wasn't a bad race for me, to be honest, from Loud Aspire, which is Selenex. So, getting ready to go at the Circuit of the Americas now for round number 9 on Independence Day in Texas. This circuit is about 12 miles south of Austin in America. It was opened at October 21st, 2012, designed by Herman Tilke, another Tilke track on the F1 calendar. So, it is currently a 5.5 kilometre circuit, 3.4 kilometres, 3.4 miles in length, as we invite Jean-Luc Taylor to the party. Well, not to the party, to the lobby. Are you back in the lobby? I've sent you an invite, so... Okay, as we're launching for round number 9 of the season, we are here at COTA, and I am going to follow the previous race winner, Bart Dude. Well, we don't have any Americans in the field for this championship, do we? Well, Goings is sort of, but we've already followed him for one lap in this session, so we're going to follow Bart Dude on this one on Independence Day. So we're getting ready to launch for round number 9 of the TGP season. TGP2 season, season 20. 20 seasons of TGP2. This is the last one on F1 2017. And hopefully you'll be joining us on F1 2018. If you want to get involved with this league, just ask at TGP Series on the comments, as we've lost our co-commentator once again. He's having a mare tonight with his internet, so it's gonna be, may end up being solo commentary here for Austin. So getting ready to go for the Grand Prix as he's come back again. Our co-commentator, you know what it is, he keeps going for a bit of cake and a cup of tea. That's why he keeps leaving. He just keeps wandering off for a bit of cake and a cup of tea. So is he coming back any second now?
Yeah, I hit the wrong button. I hit ready to actually join in the race.
So, yeah, try and find Bart Dude now, which could be an interesting mission because it took us about half a lap to find Going's last race. But we found him quite early on, so we're going to have a lap round COTA, so into the very difficult turn 1 here. Uphill braking, and then we fly down the hill. It's a bit like a roller coaster. And now we head into the section that's a lot like Suzuka S's and Maggots and Beckett. More like Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel, I'd say, at Silverstone. As you gain speed through the first part, and then you're slowly losing speed towards the end of it, and eventually you're basically crawling around towards the end as you head down this little short chute with the kink in the middle, heading up towards turn number 11 now. A lot of turns already completed here at COTA in the early part of the lap. Through turn 11, a very tight hairpin, very easy to get squirmy on the exit, which he has done there. So heading down the back straight, a long back straight here, is about a kilometre long here in Austin. Heading down towards turn number 12, try and find your braking zone. It's about 100 metre broad. Braking down third gear, nicely rounding his Sauber from Bart Dude. And now we've got the slow Nadri section where you're just constantly cutting back on yourself and struggling for traction out of these corners. Down to third gear again towards turn 16, struggling for traction. And now you've got the opposite of turn 8 at Istanbul, where you're gaining speed all the way through, gaining, and now heading towards the last couple of corners, round turn 19, quickly around there. We've just got one corner to bring us back onto the main straight, turn number 20. Through we go, struggling for traction on the exit, and what is it going to be? It is another pole position for Bart Dude here, and he gains it by not much over Goings in the end by the looks of it.
He had a little over half a tenth, and Jack in third was not too far off either. All three of those got a pretty significant gap over fourth place and downwards.
Yep, so here is the rundown of the order. So Bartdude picking up his 10th TGP2 pole, which means he has overtaken Johners in the pole list for TGP2. Goings is in second, Jack Pearson's third, Erland is in fourth, Joe Sayers fifth, Mike Noon sixth, Chiapelli seventh, Dom Smith eighth, J Alt ninth, James is 10th, 11th for Bazza, 12th for Jacko, 13th Mr. John, 14th I believe was Roman Grosjean, which was Michael Kenny even. Ways in 15th and 16th is Sir Lane X. So let's see how we get on. Round Cota for round number 9 of the TGP2 season here at Austin, Texas. What are your predictions for this race, Sean, if you were there?
Hopefully it's going to be a close one between the top three on the grid. They seem to have quite a significant gap over the rest of the field, so hopefully we don't have any drama in Austin at the first lap like we've had in previous seasons. Hopefully everyone keeps it clean at the top of the hill at turn 1, and we have a good battle on our hands. I know last time in TGP1, in the TGP1 league anyway, an early safety car did come out and it caused absolute havoc in the field, with the field flipped on its head with the front runners having to make it back. But anyway, here's the start.
So 5 lights are on, ready to go in Austin, Texas, and we are away, and it looks like a decent start from most guys. There's a few poor start from one of the Renaults at the back of the field as Goings makes a move up the inside. Oh, there's a bit of contact. There's a Ferrari basically cutting the corner completely. Who was that? That was shocking driving. But anyway, everyone else further up the field looks like they've made it through clean. It's Goings now in the lead from Bartdude. And there's an accident. J-Alt has ended up off at Narnia by the looks of it. I'm not sure what happened there. Can you enlighten us on what happened there? Didn't really get a full idea.
From what I saw from the background, it looked like a Red Bull, McLaren and Renault, of J-Alt obviously, all just seemed to come together or something. 2 cars flew off the track, one came back, the other one did not. That one being J-Alt, who finishes his race very quickly, about as quickly as my last TGP1 race here, to be fair, in the same car.
Yep, as we head down the back straight, it looks like Jack Pearson is going down the inside of Mike Noon, regaining his 3rd position. Is he? No, they're still going to be side by side for a little bit. And I think Mike Noon is just going to hold off. Meanwhile, we have Goings in the lead after that first lap action. Bartdude in 2nd, Mike Noon in 3rd, Jack Pearson 4th, and Don Smith rounding out the top 5.
Cars are swirling out of that corner and low traction. The curvy conditions definitely meaning less grip on the ultra soft tyres compared to qualifying, and you can just see the car struggling as Mike and Jack both run very wide up the second last corner.
Yeah, struggling indeed. Got about nearly a second lead, I would say, Goings at the moment over Bartdude. As I see Jack Pearson looking very tasty, and we've got Erland trying to have a move up the inside. Dom into turn 1, he gets that beautifully done nicely, and he's up into P5. Great move from Erland, committed on the brakes, hit the apex. Dom seen it coming, left him the space, and that was a done deal for Erland. Up into P5, Dom Smith down to P6.
Yeah, very good move indeed, very clean, right up the inside early. It was quite a little way back, but the way the turn 1 is, it kind of invites that inside line, the racing line being so far out. And yeah, he's already pulling away very quickly, over almost a second clear of Dom already in great DRS. Meanwhile, Chiapelli's just got to the back of Dom now, and Jack in 4th, having a look for 3rd.
Yeah, he's getting close. We're on board with Jack Pearson currently as they head down towards turn 12, the long back straight here in Austin. Is he going to try and make it round the outside? Is he going to try the whippity-wop, flippity-flop? No, he isn't. He couldn't get the switch back. Mike Noon just parked it on that apex beautifully, and he maintains the position as they head through this horrible section, I like to call it, where you're just constantly cutting back on yourself. As we look further down the field, James running in 10th. There's a bit of a battle behind Joe Sayer for 8th position. We've got Sir Lennox in 9th, James in 10th, and yeah, very tight behind there. As Sir Lennox is going down the inside of Joe, and he's got that move, well done, Sir Lennox, round the inside of the reverse turn 8 from Istanbul. and he gets the move done. There's a yellow flag in sector 3. I think Mr. John has ended off somewhere, don't know where. Baz is gaining side by side with Jacko further back. I think Baz looks like he's gaining the position here. Is he going to get the move done? No, Jacko's going to get it done. Yeah, Baz has got that completed. As James is all over the back of Joe Sayer as they head through the SE section. Meanwhile, Goings has got about a second lead over Bart Dude.
Yeah, not quite out the DRS zone though. Aiden just about close enough to have DRS down the straight. For Mr. John, it looked like he might have come together with Michael Kenny on the second lap there and spun around the wrong way. He was at the back of the field and decided that was his day done. Meanwhile, Aiden is closing in, but nowhere near close enough to make a move at the end of the DRS straight here.
Yeah, meanwhile, further up the field, we've got Solanix all over the back of Chiapelli for 7th place, and James past Joe Sayer while we were going through that little bit for you. So, Solanix gets the move done into turn 12, and that's him up to P7. No, he isn't. He's gone wide even. Sorry about that. He's just overshot the corner, and he hasn't got the position done. So, he's going to have another opportunity at Mr. Chiapelli.
Yeah, also just behind Joe, trying to make a quick return move on James, just got it a bit wrong up the braking zone, just lost a bit of his rear wing on the back of the tire, lost on the salvo in front, and it's noticeable downforce loss in the long reverse turn 8, as I think we both like to call it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way of calling that corner.
Already.
Closest battle on the circuit is currently P7 Chiapelli versus P8 Solanix in his Force India. He's looking to go up the inside maybe, or go around the outside at turn 1. This is going to be bold. He's going to try and do the switch back on him. Is he going to make the move stick? He's going to try and go round the outside. He's got the move done into turn 2.
Yeah, Chiapelli looked to have lost a lot of traction on the exit at turn 1 there. Meanwhile, I think Bazza and Jacko have just come together at turn 1. They were still fighting even a lap after the overtake on Bazza. I think Jacko may have gone for another move and it didn't quite pay off for him.
Yeah, it don't look like it's ended that well. Meanwhile, up nearer the front of the field, Jack Pearson is still only about 6 tenths behind Mike Noon, and he's going to have DRS as there's Jacko out of the race, and he's got way off there. I think it's more of a, oh, what's that for sort of thing, as we see Jack Pearson getting closer and closer to the back of Mike Noon as they head through this nattering section. Oh God.
Yeah, Aiden's sticking with Goings here. It's not letting him get away. Still in DRS, kept it to about 6-7 tenths. And you have to wonder if maybe Aiden's just taking it a little easy, just try and save his tyres.
Yeah, he could be doing that.
Goings rather. Could be doing
Goings,
that.
yeah, Goings, because the gap's suddenly started to come down as you see this battle forming, and Erland isn't too far off as Jack Pearson peels into the pit. Maybe try and get the undercut on Mike Noon.
It was a tactic he also did in Montreal. He pitted very early on lap 4 there as well. Obviously the front wing damage didn't help in that time, but this time he's got no such problems. Quick stop onto super softs, that'll be him running to the end. And it's a double stop for Mercedes as Joe comes in as well, probably doing the same thing. Although he does have damage on the front wing, but it looks like they are going to fix that damage for him.
Meanwhile, further down the field, we've got Chiapelli under scrutiny once again. He's got another car all over his back. He's got James in his Sauber. They are side by side coming through turns 1 and turns 2. But Chiapelli just about held off this time round as they head towards the back straight. And what's going to happen here? And J-Holt's gone,
you know what?
and Solanix is all over the back of Dom Smith.
It started to rain.
Is it starting to?
I'm pretty sure I've seen drops of rain.
Oh,
just
that's
on the camera,
bad news for Jack Pearson if there's drops of rain, because he's already made his stop in this race and no one else has yet. So that could be a disastrous move for the championship leader going into tonight. But I don't think he will be championship leader come the end of the night unless something magical happens, I feel. Chiapelli's still fending off from James, and I think James is finally going to get the move done, is he? Yep, he's got the move done into turn 13, and that is that. Meanwhile, we have a bit of a battle forming for the lead. Battle is brewing. Bart Dude getting very close to the back of Goings as they head on to lap number 6 of this American Grand Prix. There is rain. You are right. You weren't going mad, John. There's definitely spots of rain falling here at COTA. And how is that going to play into the field? That means it's Jack Pearson and Joe Sayers race. And Mercedes have had a strategy called Nightmare, like they did in Austria over the weekend, where they didn't pit under the virtual safety car. This time they just didn't see the rain coming for some reason.
Yeah, it seems a bit bizarre. It seems, you know what, I'm really struggling with my words today. It seems a bizarre call for Mercedes coming early for both cars with the rain about to fall. Surely they would have realised before the racing begun that the predicted weather would have brought in this rain, as nobody else has pitted yet unless they had to for damage. And by the looks of that, that is just Michael Kenny on the opening lap.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
it's a poor... Well, we do wonder what Mercedes see in their strategy department at some points. Some of them may end up needing to be taken into a dark room and beaten, the way they've been going on recently in real life and in TGP2, as we see Sir Lanix all over the back of Don Smith, heading down the back straight in towards turn 12 as the rain continues to fall.
what I have realised so far, the rain is not that heavy. It's very light. You wonder if it's just Jack's decided to pit early in the hopes that the rain just takes that little bit longer than normal to fall heavily. Maybe hope that the other front runners and the ultra softs have to come in and change for maybe super softs before the rain gets heavy enough for inters. It's happened before in the past that the rain just fell a bit too late for the front runners and they had to make a second stop. Maybe that's what Jack is counting on, and he'd get the undercut now on those super softs. Some do say that the harder tyre is a bit better in damp conditions compared to the softer ones, and it might just be showing a little bit as Jack has quickly caught to the back of Chiapelli from ninth here.
Yeah, he has very quickly caught the back of Chiapelli. I was watching the battle between Sir Lanix and Dom Smith. Nothing really was happening. He just couldn't get close enough out of turn 20 in towards turn 1, so no move there. He has to wait until the back straight. Meanwhile, Jack Pearson on his fresher rubber all over the back of Chiapelli in his Red Bull, and is he going to try the move up the inside? I can't see what's happened there, and they've got through cleanly as they head up towards turn number 12. A lot of corners yet. No, not even turn 12, turn 11. A lot of corners happened early in this lap.
The Lanix has just made the move down the inside, gone onto the back straight for 5th position.
Yeah, meanwhile that's happening, and Bart Dude is now suddenly all over the back of the race leader Goings. The rain is causing problems for Goings. Is he going to stop? He's going to not want to do what he did in Malaysia, pit about 2 laps too early for the Inter tyres, and that was his race done. A race win completely thrown away there.
So maybe the changeable conditions just suit Aiden that little bit more. But anyway, as you were saying, into the last few corners here, and the DRS straight again.
Yeah, on the DRS, he couldn't get a good exit, so I don't think he's close enough to make a move into turn 1 this time, Aiden, in his Sauber. But it's getting very tasty between the top two. The closest battle on the track as well currently, as we look at the intervals. So, heading through the SE section, Mr. Chiapelli's got a 3-second time penalty for corner cutting in this race as he heads into the pit lane. So maybe he ran wide and then dove into the pit lane. Maybe that's why he's got the penalty.
Potentially, yes, indeed. You know what? He's made the call. It's intermediate tyres for the Red Bull and a change of front wing.
Yeah.
Now that is interesting.
That is interesting, but I think that's too early, personally.
Yes, I think I would have to agree. Normally you get a little DRS.
To be fair with Chiapelli, he didn't have anything to lose like with Goings last week. He was already fair way down the field anyway, so it weren't going to make too much of an impact on his race, no matter what he did.
I guess we'll see just on the outlap for him how it compares to the car in front, which is Joe on the super softs, and I have to tell you already, he's lost 8 temps since turn 1. I think it's just too dry at the moment, and he's almost spun off into the S's as well.
Yeah, you keep an eye on Chiapelli while I keep an eye on this league battle. They're still about 6 temps apart, but they're running fairly close to each other still. Is any of them going to dive into the pit lane this time round and make the switch to inters? It still looks too dry to me, but is any of them going to make the switch? Neither of them makes the switch as they head into the final corner. Is Bardu closer this time? I think he is. Is he going to be able to make the move into turn 1? It's going to be an ambitious move if he does, but I just don't think he's done it yet. He's going to run
So
out of road.
I was to tell you that Jack just made a brilliant move on the outside of James for P7. He was side by side throughout turn, I believe 17 into the long right-handed turn 18 are on the outside and making the move stick. Erlang and James are now pitted. Erlang is on super softs, it looks like there, and James is about to come to his box now, and we will see what tyres he is on.
Yeah, these guys
Super
up the
softs
front
as well.
are getting very touchy with each other. Only about 2 attempts. Is he going to make a move into turn 11, Bartdude? No, he's going to hold on till the DRS straight. We're on board with Bartdude. Did his salvo, gets a poor exit and loses a bit of time. But is he going to be able to keep close with the DRS? DRS is open now. He should be flying down the straight. You can see the little green light on his steering wheel. He's getting closer and closer, heading towards turn 12 now. Can he make the move up the inside? He's going to go for it. He's sticking it up the inside. I think he's got the move done. Oh, there's a little bit of contact on the exit. But he has got the move done just about, and he's into the lead of this race. So it looks like his Ultra Softs are just in slightly better nick than Goings. But Goings is coming back at him. Oh, this is getting sketchy. Goings is going to get the... He's got the place back, but his Bartdude's going to try and hang it around the inside of the reverse turn 8, and he's kept it. And I think that may be done deal this time.
Yeah, but Goings making the move, maybe a bit cheeky, going up, diving up the inside and making contact to get ahead, but around that turn 18 he just got it a bit wide, bit similar to Rosberg 2015 when he lost the championship to Hamilton here. Just ran it a little bit wide onto that AstroTurf on the outside, and that just gave Aiden...
Oh, but he's going for it again up the inside at turn 1. And he's forced him off. He's forced him wide. He's got the move done, and he's back into the lead of this race. It's a ding-dong battle. Meanwhile, further down the field, I just caught a glimpse of it, and that was Jack Pearson getting up past Dom Smith into 5th place.
And you know what, he is one to watch, because if it doesn't get wet enough, Jack is only 17 seconds off the scrapping 2 leaders.
Yeah.
And if it doesn't get wet enough and they have to come in for super softs, Jack will be ahead.
Yeah, he will be. There's Bartdude getting very close into turn 11. Is he going to stick it up the inside in turn 11? Yes, he is. Goings is just going to try and do the undercut on him, though. He does the switch back, and he's back into the lead, but they're side by side. And who's going to have the DRS? That is the real question.
Aiden,
and it's Bartdude.
Aiden has it.
Bartdude has the DRS. He's going to slip back in behind Goings. Is he going to try? He's going to have to go around the outside of turn 12, and he can't get the move done. I think
Going
Goings...
for the cutback.
Oh,
Will he have a look down the
indeed.
inside here?
Not quite. He's going to head into the Nadri section now. Aiden,
Meanwhile,
is he going
Jack
to try
is
and do
up
what
to
Goings did
4th.
the previous lap? No, he isn't. And heading towards the reverse turn 8 on lap number 10, heading towards lap number 11. And it's starting to get a bit wetter and a bit wetter now.
I'll have to tell you though, Jack in 4th has gained 2 seconds on this lap on the super soft tyres while they've been fighting, and the gap's gone from 17.5 seconds. It's actually gone below 15 as...
Oh, they're both
Aiden,
in. They're both in. They've both finally given up the ghost. Are they going to switch to inters, or are they going to give up the ghost and admit defeat and go onto the slicks? If it doesn't, we'll see any second now. Goings will be the first to hit their pit box, and he's going super soft, so that means it hasn't got wet enough. It just hasn't got...
Chiapelli's out.
Chiapelli's out, and that means Jack Pearson's into the lead of the race as well.
It's a big crash in the S's, the only car on inters. He made the wrong call, it just wasn't wet enough, and now he's found himself in the wall, out the race.
So Jack Pearson, when it started raining, we thought he'd made a mistake, but actually it's a masterstroke from Mercedes, and now he's in the lead of the race. Dom Smith, who hasn't pitted yet, is in 2nd, and he's just all over the shop in all honesty. Bartdude is in 3rd, Bazza in 4th. I don't think he's stopped yet. Erland, has he stopped yet? I don't think so. Goings has stopped, yeah. It's all getting very touch and go, but Jack Pearson now into the lead of this race.
I thought Aiden came out and third behind Dom, but suddenly he's appeared ahead. Dom and Bazza yet to pit. I think they're gambling on wet, and Dom's tyres have just given up the ghost. Bazza down the inside on the super softs, which will last a bit longer than the ultra. Yes, the ultra soft, sorry. And Erlan is a net 3rd, fighting with Monk, and going to must have had damage or something, because he's come out miles back in 7th.
Yeah, he has. He's lost a lot of time. Dom Smith on his ultras is basically done for now. They've had it. It started raining on about, what, lap 4, lap 5, and it's still on lap 11 it's not wet enough for the inter tyres. So it's worked out beautifully for Jack Pearson. So, Mike Noon battling in 6th position right behind Erlang. Goings is just behind them as well.
And unless it's so tempted to a deluge now, that fight in 5th, 6th and 7th is actually going to be 3rd, 4th and 5th as they catch the 2 in front who are just hit the cliff really. Don has decided to give up the ghost on his quest for the podium and has pitted. And Goings and Mike come together. Oh,
Goings and Mike are off. Not really sure what Goings was attempting there, to be honest. It looked a little bit off from what I could tell. There's something happening between James and Sir Ladix further down the field as they head into turn 1. But yeah, that was a bit scrappy from the pair of them.
Yes, and it's just given Erlang a podium on a plate as Bazza's running off the track now. His tyres are giving up the ghost.
Yeah.
Bartdude 3 seconds, 2.5 seconds down with Jack Pearson. I wonder if Jack just made a mistake there because it was 3 seconds, suddenly it's 2.4. Maybe it's the tyres starting to give up for Jack as well. Remember he pitted on lap 4.
Yeah. Bartdude is clawing in. He has got much fresher tyres than Jack Pearson, so this race isn't over yet. If Bartdude wins, it'll be win number 13 for him in TGP2, equaling me on 13 wins. If Jack Pearson wins, he will go on 12, which equals Bartdude on wins. So it'll be very interesting to see who comes out the winner of this race. Jack Pearson wins, like I said, on to 12 wins, and it means the 2 main threats to the title this year are on the same amount of wins after 9 rounds in TGP2 history.
Meanwhile, Erlang has just taken 3rd off Bazza. Bazza's tyres surely given up now. He's struggling to get the car into the corners, running right there, going to surely take P4.
Yeah.
And he does indeed. Bazza giving the room there. Now, could there be team orders at Toro Rosso here, perhaps? Goings. Well, I say team orders. Before tonight, they're only 10 points apart. I'm sure they'll both just race. I'm sure Erlang won't give up a podium. He's had a...
Yeah, Goings is the quicker driver though, I will say that. He's definitely got the pace on Erlang. I'm not sure what happened to Goings in the stop, but he's definitely got more pace. But Bartdude is now only 1.1 seconds behind Jack Pearson, so this race isn't done yet. This could be a very interesting fight towards the end of the race. Jack Pearson trying to struggle on his much older tyres, on the much fresher rubber, in his Sauber Bartdude. This will not be good for the championship. This could be crucial for the championship if Bartdude gets in front here. 5 tenths now, and he's just clawed back about half a second in that first sector, so it's literally going to be a matter of time before Aiden passes Jack Pearson for the race victory.
Yeah, tyre life is clearly evident between the two. Jack on old tyres, Aiden's tyres rather fresh. Jack's going to have to park the bus like he's never parked it before, and Aiden's already having a look at the inside, but Jack just takes his line, cuts it off, and keeps the lead for now.
This is the most exciting battle on the track with about a lap and a half to go. This is the battle we're probably going to be stuck with till the end. So, I'm sorry anyone else, but Goings is getting close to the back of Erlang, so maybe keep an eye on that and see if there's any position changes there if you want. As we keep an eye on this battle on the main feed. Very close it's getting between Bartdude and Jack Pearson. Jack Pearson's wide, and I think that may be it actually. Bartdude down the inside into turn 20. I think that's it now. I think Bartdude has picked up the race victory. 1 lap to go. He's on the final lap. And I think that is done deal. He should shoot off into the distance. He's already gained half a second just on that straight alone.
Indeed, and there's no penalties at all. So what you're seeing is pretty much what you're going to get in terms of positioning, unless something happens to the last lap between one of these two.
Yeah, well,
for Bazza in that case, down 9th place, he's got a 3-second penalty.
Yeah, I think
Jack's tyres have just absolutely hit the cliff.
Yeah, they've hit the cliff. Meanwhile, Goings is all over the back of Erlang now. So this is the battle between the 2 Toro Rosso drivers for the final spot on the podium. So is Goings, who's in more contention, you would like to say, in the title fight compared to Erlang. But let's see how they get on. Heading towards turn 11 now. Is Goings going to stick it up the inside? Yes, he is. Erlang tries to shut the door, and he's got the move done. And Joe Sayer is out of the race.
Crashed. He's in the wall.
Yeah, in the wall, in the SEs. So that means Bazza's up a position, and Goings, I think, is basically there. So that's really the end of the battles on this track, to be honest. Everyone else should stay where they are position-wise. So Bartdude looking comfortable to pick up another race victory tonight. It'll be his second of the night, winning back-to-back races in Canada and in Austin. One close to Canada Day, one close to Independence Day. Has he got North American heritage? Do we know? Who knows? As he comes around the final couple of corners now, round turn 19 into turn 20 in his Sauber, and Bart Dude comes around the final corner, mugging Jack of that victory, and wins the Austin, Texas Grand Prix, the US Grand Prix. Jack Pearson's coming home second. Goings is going to come home third. Erland in fourth. Mike Noon's coming home fifth. Sir Lanex looks like he's going to come home in sixth, but he's got a 3-second time penalty.
Mike, and he's almost dropped out of the last corner as well.
He's in.
Oh, dearie me.
So James is actually
it's cost him sixth, I believe. I think that's been.
So
we'll have a look.
Bazza comes home eighth. Dom Smith, who switched onto the Inters. It was a bad call. He's lost so much time in this race since switching onto the Inters, and he's going to come home in ninth. Michael Kenny's going to come home in 10th, most likely. So, what are your thoughts on the 3 races tonight, Sean, while we wait for the rest of the field to cross the line?
Been very intriguing, a lot of close battles, but for the most part, well, apart from this one, the leader kind of kept his cool throughout most of the race and took it all the way. Goings in Mexico, Aiden, actually, was it Aiden in Canada? I've actually forgotten because
Aiden in Canada and in Austin.
Oh yes, of course, he had the comfortable win when the 2 cars behind him both had to pit for front wing damage, and here fighting back and taking the win, where, well, for the most part of the race he was leading, well, second actually behind Goings, but he was there. The only lap he really led was the last few after pitting, coming out behind Jack and catching and passing.
Yeah, so we're going to see the podium celebrations. That means that Aiden has equalled me on 13 wins in TGP2 history, so he's going to be very excited over his double victory tonight. Jack Pearson comes home second. Goings is going to come home third. So they are the 3 main title threats, you would say, after 9 rounds in this championship.
Yes, indeed. And to make it even more interesting, because of that result, Aiden and Jack are now separated in the championship by 1 point, with Jack the one on top.
Wow, you've been doing your mental maths during the breaks, haven't you? Anyway, Let's see what we have as the race results. Confirmed race results: Bart Dude in first, Jack Pearson in second, Goings in third, Erland fourth, Solanex fifth. Then we've got James in sixth, Mike Noon seventh, Bazza eighth, Michael Kenny ninth, Dom Smith the last of the finishers in 10th. Then we've got Joe Sayer first retirement in 11th, and Mr. Chiapelli in 12th. So hopefully you did enjoy these 3 races of TGP2. We'll be back maybe next week, depending on if England make the semi-finals of the World Cup. Come on, England, it's coming home, lads. But hopefully you did enjoy these 3 races. We'll see you, if not next week, in 2 weeks' time for rounds 10, 11 and 12. So thank you for watching TGP2. Any final words, John?
Yeah, well, I've got to say this is turning into a very exciting championship, and it really could go either way. We're near the halfway point of the season now, and 1 point separates the top 2, just like real life, bizarrely.
So there we are. That's the 3 races. Hopefully you did enjoy them, and we'll see you in a week's time or 2 weeks' time, depending on if England do well at the World Cup. Thank you for watching, and goodbye.